How is everyone doing tonight? Um, I don't really have anything major planned for tonight. I don't think I have any epic rant to go on. Maybe we'll get there though. Uh, Rangers just won. Shout out to the New York Rangers. Just watched them clean up in overtime on the playoff push. Really barely on the edge. Well, they're on the outside looking in actually. So they need to get their shit together in the last 8 games of the season. We'll see if that happens. Um, See, we got Greeny saying MetaZoo. We got Dio's cards saying MetaPoo. Cardboard Hustle loves the late night streams. FSR 56 needs the red lights. Jonathan Flint got some eyeball emojis. GM, what is up? Yeah, feel free to leave your questions in the chat. There always is something big. I didn't feel like putting anything big and whatever the current things are. I didn't feel like putting them in my thumbnail today. Usually I do try to play the click game. I try to play the thumbnail game a little bit more. I just threw a generic chart. No rocket emojis, no green lines, no red lines. Just a blue neutral color line. Not getting too many emotions riled up. So we'll see if that lowers the view count. We'll see if that increases it. I don't know. Is it over? Is it all over? I don't think so, but we'll see. Bring bring King Henrique back. He was a monster. The fact that they never got a cup with him was an abomination. Igor needs to get one. Dan, that base MetaZoo box I bought, is this y'all's first? Which base MetaZoo box? What's going on, brother? How's it going? Just hanging out, watch the Rangers win in overtime, ready to go live for I'll probably be live for like 90 minutes. I kind of want to be done by 11:30. If chat's getting rowdy, if we're really going, I'm not going to end it early. I'm going to try to keep up with chat the whole time, stay on top of things. First question, what is a reasonable profit margin in the Pokemon business? From distro to market, for example, in this market, it would be MSRP to TCG ETC. Historically speaking, there's like no margin in sealed. Historically speaking, I used to buy during the Sword and Shield era. I used to buy boxes for 83 to 85, 86 bucks. There was a short time where I had one rep that was like giving me too good of prices, and somehow I was paying 79, 78 at times on certain products. That was just a sign of the times. That was probably like 2015, maybe even 2017. I know 2016 was kind of a poppin' year with Pokemon Go, but at that time, eBay fees 10, 12%, shipping several dollars. Boxes would be 90 bucks shipped on eBay. Even a year ago today, boxes were $99.99 shipped on eBay or less for pretty much every set. And I pay $92.50 now for boxes. So a reasonable profit margin is 1%, historically speaking, when it comes to like sealed product. Not that that's actually reasonable. I'm being a little bit facetious right now, but that's historically what the profit margins would be on sealed. That's part of why I started the whole live streaming, right? Back in October, you kind of needed a way to find more margin on certain products. Then the boom happens, and it's like you take your allocation and you just dump it on the market for double what you paid or more. It's bonkers. As far as, I don't know if you're talking singles, if you're talking graded, if you're talking buying collections and selling. I operate on roughly a 30% gross margin. I buy approximately 75%. I sell approximately 105% when I buy packs. Some of the more hot sets, 80 and 110, that's the gross margin. Take away platform fees, take away paying the streamers and everything. You might be looking at 10% margins, but if it's 10% margins on big number, it can be a big number. So, but very variable. If you're doing bulk, if you're buying cards for 1 cent a piece, making those mixed lots to sell on eBay, to sell on Amazon, some people grinding bulk work on a 200% margin, probably. I don't know that business intimately, but I used to do a mini version of that. I didn't buy the bulk. I just sold my bulk that way instead of selling it for, at the time, bulk was 6 cents a piece. I sold my bulky bulk 6 cents a piece. I sold a little bit of it in those lots, but they were very tedious and I didn't have the machines to do them at the time. Daniel, I'm taking a break from PK's stream. I've been trying to call you on the flip phone. My question is, where's the Shining Legends? I do not have much Shining Legends. I've had it on my hot buy list for the past few weeks, and it's hard to get it. It's hard to get it in. Let's go Rangers. I agree. 66 Mustang. I will actually be watching the Rangers next week live in person at the Garden, the greatest arena on earth. I'm very excited for that. So hopefully the playoff push is well underway. Hopefully they don't. I mean, for the Rangers, the playoffs start early. There's 7 games left to their regular season, I believe. And it's functionally the playoffs. If they start losing now, they're going to be out. They're going to be playing golf in April, which you don't want to be doing. You want to be playing hockey in April. Yeah, they've played 75, so they have 7 games left. 7 games left, and it's pretty much the playoffs already. They can definitely lose a couple, just like you can in the playoffs, but they can't drop 4 out of 7. They definitely can't go with a losing record between now and then. Are you still buying loose packs? Haven't seen you posting in PokeVault's Discord. That's actually funny. And maybe this is part of the meme. I don't know if Roger that has insider info, but I do not have permissions to post in that channel anymore in Vault's Discord. I don't know if he has a rule where you can only buy things if you're like a true collector or if you're a true engager in his Discord. I have done 0 engagement in his Discord outside of the willing to buy channel. I, for the past several weeks, had posted a buy thread, a buy post in his willing to buy channel in his Discord. And I went to post it like 2 Mondays ago, and I do not have permissions to send messages in that channel anymore. So let's see. I can message in regular things. I guess I got banned from that channel because I was buying. I don't know. I was buying too many packs. I don't really know. Sean, I believe is his name, but I don't know if that was him or if it was a mod. I used to get a lot of laugh. It's funny. I used to get so many laugh reacts. I'd post a buy thread or a buy image for like buying Evolving Skies for $20, buying whatever else I'm buying for let me see what this week's is, just so people know in case they feel like selling. I only had a few packs in my hot buy list, but this week's hot buy list: Shining Legends at 38, Evolving Skies at 18, Astral Radiance at 475. I used to get 10, 12 laugh reacts every time I posted in his Discord, and meanwhile, people from his Discord would slide into my DMs and do 5 figures worth of business pretty much every week I posted in there. I asked some of them about it. I'm like, what's the deal? I got a couple DMs like, go away, jokester, go away, clown. It's like you go away. People are doing business here. I always found that really funny. But it is what it is. I guess I can't buy stuff in there anymore. But I am always buying. Check out I'll link it in my live chat right now. My buy list is live all the time. It's always updated to current market pricing. Let's see. To avoid scammers for a quick buck. Oh, do you have to get verified somehow? I'll have to look into it. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at the live chat while I'm also going through, but Jonathan Mewtwo says, Daniel, PK says to tell you he's the face of the channel. Ask me to send you a gentle reminder. He's definitely the face. Him and Ponga are the faces of the live selling aspect. I'm the face of the YouTube, but they are crushing. I pop in from time to time, once a quarter. Expect me to pop in once a quarter. Q1 of 2025, I was there January, February, March. I need to take a few months off. I don't know if I'll be there for Ponga's doing base set 2 this month, and then PK is doing Rocket next month. I don't know that I'll be there for either. We'll see, though. We'll see. I can't definitively say that I won't be there. What's the word on the Dan promo? I'm officially buying. So I will do a video recapping Collecticon on Saturday. I usually do them as my like Monday video, but part of the reason that I'm doing it on Saturday is because it's essentially going to be a MetaZoo video. It's going to be a MetaZoo Saturday video. My entire Collecticon was primarily related to MetaZoo. Not that surprising because I didn't get that one there, but I don't know if anyone saw that. I'm probably covering it entirely, but get you a peek at that, see if anyone knows what that is. I'm buying these. I'm buying these for $50. I'm gonna post it a few more times. I'm gonna shout it out. I might put it in my thumbnail for Saturday's video. If you want to sell me your Dan promo, if you don't know what it is, doesn't matter. It's too late. You probably don't have one if you don't know what it is. But if you have one, $50 between now and the end of the year, or $60 credit towards a MetaZoo base set booster box, and that is available until the end of the month, and then that's done forever. I disclosed all those reasonings why in a recent video, but anyways, I really don't think people are taking tariffs seriously enough with how over leveraged how many flippers are. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting from the Japanese side. I don't know how over leveraged those flippers would be, those flippers, scalpers, distributors, whatever you want to call them. I imagine there'll be some amount of drastic slowing in their orders in the coming days, just kind of waiting to see how things settle. I don't know if they go like a day without 10K or 30K of US side money coming in, will their operation just go underwater? I have no clue. I think this industry is generally quite leveraged, generally quite illiquid, but I am not like drastically overreacting. I'm just going to wait and see what's going on. It does drastically affect my business though too, because I buy a little bit of Japanese product, not any crazy amount, but I buy a little bit for the streams. I buy some raw, I buy some sealed, and I buy a lot of my English packs lately are actually coming from the EU. A lot of them I've got multiple people actually doing geographical arbitrage, and they literally just buy at retail in EU and they sell to me over here. If that gets taxed 10% more, maybe we could make it work. Maybe I pay a little bit more, their margin shrinks a little bit. We kind of split the difference. If that stuff gets taxed 25%, that play probably entirely evaporates. So I think that's the entire point of tariffs is like, hey, don't buy them from EU, don't bring them over here, like buy them from your fellow Americans. And I think it's more applicable when it comes to like actual production, when it comes to actual manufacturing. I meant to say not production, actual manufacturing of items. Yeah, but I'm not a global economist expert. I'm not a macroeconomics expert by any stretch, so I don't know what's going to be going on. Aside from packs, what are you buying for Fanatics Live? I advertise my entire buy list on my website. 75% I buy slabs under 120. Occasionally, I really need higher end slabs. So occasionally, I'll put out a ping in Discord. I might put out a ping on Instagram that I'm buying slabs at. I just realized I have my headphone in and I don't have music on. I need to put some music on. But I just wanted to make sure it wasn't coming through the I wanted to make sure George Strait wasn't going to get me demonetized. I don't know how I don't know if he's as big as copyright striking people as Jason Page is, apparently. But yeah, slabs at 75%. If I really need high-end ones, I will occasionally buy at 80, 85, 90%, depending. But Football Pete was selling Fusion and Chilling for 79 for the longest time. 2021 was a great year. Wild year. Only 4 years ago. Oh, the new MetaZoo boxes are out. So what I'm personally doing with my allocation, I'm taking some part of my allocation and I'm ripping it for singles. For TCG player, if it lists MetaZoo, and then for eBay. I'll talk about that more in my video on Saturday, and maybe a video the following Saturday. But I'm going to be live streaming primarily. I'm not your guy to buy loose boxes. I'm not your guy to like buy sealed cases and try to get these. I'm saving all mine for mass rips and for live stream rips. I'm not really selling sealed at all. I think the best way that MetaZoo has a chance of living into the future, the more product that gets opened, the more product that gets consumed. I just want to do my best to support that side of it. That's what I used to do with old MetaZoo as well. So I'm taking that strategy with new MetaZoo, getting the product out there, getting it ripped, getting it into people's hands. Yes, every set, 4 cases, 4 booster cases of every set at minimum goes onto the pallet immediately. And then I do it by my discretion down the line. With what the prices are today, I'm putting the bare minimum on the pallet. So next month will be the 1-year review of the pallets. If your distributor was charging $200 on release for Destined Rivals, would you still buy your full allocation? Let's say market is $300 at the time. That's Sebastian. Do you work for my distributor? This feels like a test. It feels like a test I'm gonna lose, because if I was being charged $200 and market was stable at $300, Yeah, I'd make money. Yes, that would be scary though. That would be very scary if distros started giving me zero at 92.50. They started giving me just all of it at some percent of market as opposed to some percent of MSRP as it historically is. But yeah, we'll see. Sky's about to need a new garage. Yes. Yeah, Spat saying it sounds like free tendies. Absolutely. Red Wings fan here. What are playoffs? Rest in peace, Greeny. When you say 10% margin, does that mean you take home 85% of market or 82.5% of market after all expenses? So if you look at like packs, if you look at the average pack that I'm buying currently, I buy the average pack for about 75% of market. I sell it for about 105 to 110% of market. My gross margin is like 30%. Platform fees, round them up a little bit, approximately 10%. So that takes 110 down to 100%. And then I have to pay the streamer and I have to make my profit between 100% and 75%. It's not all my information to share. I don't talk about exactly what I pay my streamers, but between 100% and 75%, or between 95 and depending on the set, depending on what we're selling it for, that's where we make our margin. So that's the breakdown. Hopefully that makes sense. Watching at work makes the janitor shift go quicker. Always love the thought of helping people get through their days in a more happy, quick, whatever way. Do you think celebrations will reach the level of generations? Oh, your rank has to be level 7 in his Discord to be able to sell. I need to find out how. I guess I need to engage in his Discord some. I used to be able to sell though. He must have made that change. Maybe it was getting swamped in there. But maybe it wasn't as targeted as I thought it was. That's funny though. It's funny because I used to have permission and now I don't any longer. But do I think celebrations will reach the level of generations? So celebrations and generations, very, very different sets. I like them both. They're both anniversary sets, obviously. But generations are a 4-card pack. That's kind of an unprecedented thing in the hobby, right? Aside from you have the Pop Series packs are like 2-card packs. I guess you have Detective Pikachu, which came before the celebrations packs that are also 4-card packs. But I don't know. This is one of those questions of like crystal ball. Let's see what generations is right now. So generations is 71.92 a pack. Wow, I did not realize it was that high. And celebrations is 10 a pack. Do I think a 4-card pack of celebrations, some of which you open and you get like those 4 holo cards, do I think that will ever be 70 a pack? Someday, maybe, like in the that's calling for a 7x on an item. That's really tough, especially when it's a 4-card pack. I have a hard time seeing that happening. Not to say I need to be careful. I need to be careful because for all I know, it's going to be $70 next January. Long time though. Long time, I think. Question: I was going through your booster box history data in Discord. Do you plan to update it soon? When's the last time I updated that one? Booster box historical. Ugh, it's not coming up. I need to search in my drive. So for anyone unaware, unfamiliar, I have in Patreon, one time I did a deep dive in the historical booster box pricing. And I think I updated it last in 2024. Yes. So I'll do it sometime this year. I think the best time to do it is sometime around the middle of the year. So I just presented in March. I'll probably target maybe my next one. It probably won't be my whole thing. I'll probably spend a little bit of time updating the historical booster box thing in mid to hit like mid 2025 for the timestamp. And then I'll do something additional likely for my my presentation. Let's see. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. How's it going, A-Town? How's it going, T-Chev? Dan, how's the journey of Fanatics Live so far? Is it more work than expected? It's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot less work for me than it is for PK and Ponga. They're the ones putting the FaceTime in. They're the ones doing all the major packing and shipping. But everything that they pack and ship, I'm sourcing, right? So some of it I'm able to source and have it shipped directly to them. The more of that I can do, the better for me, right? I do compensate them very well to account for the time they have to spend receiving packages. I've done a couple different raises now since they've been running for about 6 months. So I taking care of them, but they're taking care of me as well. It's going really, really well. It's definitely more work than I expected because it's become such a larger percentage of my business than I would have expected so quickly. We just ended Q1 and I'm looking at the numbers right here. We didn't do a million in Q1, but we were a lot closer than I expected. And it is not outside of the realm of possibility that we might do a million, maybe not quarter two, maybe with Destined Rivals, maybe we do though. But it is within the realm of possibility that we might have $1 million quarter on Fanatics Live sometime in 2025, which is just insane. You're an investor, of course, you'd have a poncho box. I wasn't lucky enough to get one, although I'd love to have it in my collection. So I bought 39 cases. My entire allocation was 39 cases. Thankfully, I didn't have to open 39 to get it. I opened one at the convention. I actually bought one on Saturday morning at the convention because I wanted to rip product and I didn't have any. All my product was back home. So I ripped one at the convention, didn't get it. I ripped my fourth case here. My fourth case here I ripped had it. So it was my fourth case from my allocation, but it was actually my fifth case I opened overall. And me being a gambling man, I think I ripped 2 or 3 more cases just to see if I got another one. And I don't have another one. I forced myself to pause there. I'll talk about it a little bit. One thing I intend to do, I don't intend to sell this on a live stream, but one thing I want to do is like sell a case break. So I'll sell 2 options. If you come to a live stream to buy MetaZoo, and it'll be a couple weeks till we get that running. I was just talking with the guy on when that was going to start. But we're going to do 2 options. We're going to do, you can buy a single box that's already from a searched case, maybe for like, and prices might change. Prices might go down, prices might go up. So I would adjust slightly to market if I had to. But as of today's market pricing for booster boxes, I'll do the let me show it. I know I have one here somewhere. Of course, it's under other boxes that I just dropped. But I'll do one of these for I think 99 or $100. I think Fanatics is just clean $100 pricing. They don't really have like decimals in there much. But I'll do this for 100 ripped live, or I'll sell into a case break. We'll have a sealed case there, and you can buy one spot in a sealed case break for 120. So MSRP for a case break. I've seen some people like complaining in Discord and stuff, which is, I understand it. I understand the desire to have a fair shot at getting this, right? So I'm gonna sell on stream. It'll be 100 for this, no chance at the big one, and then it'll be 120 for a case break. The issue with that is we need all 12 slots to sell out. Can I on Fanatics Live go live? Can I have a streamer go live, and within the span of a 1, 2, 3 hour live stream, will we sell out an entire case at MSRP? I have no idea. I'm gonna get when we get the first stream scheduled, I'm gonna do a bunch of promotion of it. I'm gonna try to get a good thumbnail made. I'm gonna be talking about it on my YouTube live streams, push it on Instagram and all that, and hopefully we can pre-sell at least 1 case. I mean, I would love for our launch stream to do 2 or 3 cases. I would love to do 5 case breaks on our main stream and be able to pull this for someone. I'm torn. Let me know in chat if I do a case break live stream and if we pull one of these. Should I have it be it's ripped 100%, or should I give them the option to ship it sealed? I feel like people will want the option to ship it sealed, but I feel like DGen Dan kind of wants to make it where you're compelled to rip it regardless. But I'll probably give them the option. I'll probably let them DGen if they want to DGen. I'll probably let them rip or ship if they're present. But I would probably default to shipping sealed if they're not present. If they buy it early, 5-hour stream, we rip it towards the end. We'll see though. We'll see. What's your opinion on in-person vends? I sell at some swap meets and shows in Syracuse. We mostly do TCG player. Do you think local shows are worth it or online only? We'll be at Creepy Cuse May 4th. I mean, if you're having fun, if you're making money, if you're doing either or, it's like whether it's worth it is up to you entirely. I know a lot of people who do local shows. I don't know many who do local shows around here. I was actually just talking to one of my buddies who my best man at my wedding, went to high school. My mom used to babysit him growing up. He's getting into Pokemon lately. I sold him a bunch of Crown Zenith packs before they popped like crazy. I sold them to him for $5 a pack when I was paying like $3.75 a pack. Or when I was paying $4 a pack. But he did well with those. he's getting the itch to want to go to a Collecticon. He's like, hey, when's a drivable Collecticon? I told him about New Jersey. I told him about Cleveland. Maybe he'll come with me to one of those. But I said, hey, we should just go to Syracuse. We should just go to Albany. We should just drive to one some weekend, and maybe that'll end up happening. But yes, right now, and I've seen people like confused in Discord about why the singles are selling for so much. It's a brand new TCG. No one really has the singles listed. It's very common. It's very common for things to come out and, oh, thank you, Son of a Mewtwo, for the 20 gifted memberships. Did not have to do that, but I appreciate it very much. We're going to see that lawnmower guy run 20 times. I don't think the sound is coming through. Why is the sound not coming through? That's annoying. Some people might enjoy the fact that the sound's not coming through. But yeah, appreciate you again for that, Son of a Mewtwo. I think like any other TCG, like Pokemon is way more optimized. Pokemon has a 2-week period of pre-release for people to rip the singles in mass and get them listed, and then people are getting the product a week early, ripping it in mass, and you have so much more competition. Pokemon is a way more optimized market. It's not entirely optimized, but it's way more optimized than a brand new TCG. So of course you're gonna have singles selling out of the gate at like kind of absurd prices. I think that's like just obvious. Like native, I used to be a partner with old MetaZoo, and native singles, I was selling Magma Fusion Ores for $250 out of the gate. It was crazy. The Dark Espeon I got from you was gorgeous. Oh, you got the Dark Espeon in the that was from the PK stream? That was from the Fossil Box night. Glory to Team Rocket, Japanese, already at 5 times MSRP on eBay. Thoughts? What a crazy time for the hobby, but so exciting. Yeah, it's wild. PK and Pongo want me to have Glory of Team Rocket available for like launch weekend. I throw the tariff confusion mess on top of it. I don't know what it's going to take to get them here. I kind of want to have them. I want to have them available for people, but it might be, I mean, it might be a lot of money. It might have to be $250 to make it make sense. It might not be able to make sense. I don't know. Tariff cardboard equals more boom. No idea. I feel like you could make logical arguments as to why prices will go up on certain things. And I feel like you could make logical arguments on why prices will go down on certain things. Which one will actually happen? I have no idea. I am not a, as I said, a macroeconomics expert. I'm not good at like the whole global finance type stuff, macro stuff. Base set Charizard reprint, cheaper option for people to pull it, and Blastoise and Venusaur. I could see it hit pack prices of evolutions roughly. Yeah, I mean, I like the set. I like Celebrations a lot. It's just interesting and it's unique, and there's not really like an amazing comparison for it because it's the 4-pack thing. Love the content. Sending love from Puerto Rico. Appreciate you, Omi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. What if there's the blue box in the case, the limited sign box? I mean, yeah. So if I do a case break on stream, we'll sell these loose, guaranteed to not be the poncho box. These will be $100 a box as of today's pricing. If prices go up 20% between now and when we start streaming, hopefully in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'll probably raise the price to match. But if you buy into a case break where you have a chance to get either this or this, I'll probably do the case break for $120 as of today's pricing. Yeah, the option to ship has to be there in a poncho box. That's probably what I'll do. Yeah, poncho. So the way that it works, this is the standard art. I do not recall the artist that drew this artwork, but this box is a case chase. It's not in every case. It's randomly inserted. I've heard some people say they opened, well, I opened it in my 5th case. I heard some people who opened 50 cases and got like 3. And I've heard of some people who opened 10 cases and got like 2. So I've heard of anywhere between 1 in 5 cases and 1 in 15 or 20 cases. I don't know what the actual number is, but it's a pretty interesting thought. Like, start running the numbers in your head. Think about, and we don't know. Charlie's mentioned that he probably won't ever disclose it. But think about if there were 10,000 of these, how many of these would that mean? If there were 100,000 of these, how many of those would that mean? It rough numbers, but there's not that many of those boxes. Are there more or less of those or those? Those were supposedly 2,500. I mean, the math is easy, right? So if these are 1 in 5 cases, that's 1 in 60 boxes. For that being 1 in 2,500 multiplied by 60, you'd have to I say the math is easy, and then I'm like, oh crap, what did I just get myself into? 2,500 times 60 would be 150,000. So if this is a 1 in 5 case thing, for that to be equivalent rarity to that, you'd have to print 150,000 of MetaZoo base set. Do we think they printed that much? Me personally, I would assume not. Am I doing this math right? Because this already feels crazy. This already feels crazy because that's the more common end. Yeah, we're doing the math right. And if it's a 1 in 20 cases, I don't know. I've heard of some people, again, I guess 1 in 15 is about the worst that I've heard anecdotally. I've heard of a couple people opening 10, 12, 15 cases and getting 1. I've heard of a couple people opening 30 or plus and getting only like 1 in 15 cases. If it's 1 in 15, now you got to do 15 times 12, so you got to do 180 times 2,500. I mean, the print run of the boxes would have to be 450,000 boxes to make that be equal print run to that. So it feels fairly safe that there's probably less of these having been produced than these, just based off early numbers. That's my presumption, with pretty strong a pretty strong idea that would have to be true. Yeah, but Poncho's the artist that drew that alternate artwork. I love podcasts and Jacob Gordon giving thank yous for the memberships. Thank you again to Son of a Mewtwo. Question: most undervalued Sword and Shield booster box at the moment. Let me pull up Sword and Shield booster boxes. So I never financial advice, never recommending people what to do, but let me look up. If I had to buy one Sword and Shield era booster box to hold, let's see. So I don't have Sword and Shield base pricing here in my spreadsheet, but Rebel Clash is 180. No. I'm looking at ETBs. I was gonna say that seems wrong. So Rebel Clash is 260. Darkness Ablaze is 204. Vivid Voltage is 194. Lost Origins around 400. Silver Tempest 270. Wow, Astral's 270. Brilliance 290. Fusion's 475. Evolving's 1300. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I probably like Battle Styles the most. Does that mean it's gonna have the highest percent increase? It might not. It'll be obvious whenever it happens what happens, but like, to be completely honest with the question, I'm not adding any significant positions of any Sword and Shield era booster box right now. Not because I don't really like them, but opportunity cost wise, I think I just have better places to put my money where I have more optimism. And as crazy as it sounds, I bought quite a bit of this. I bought quite a bit of this to just churn. I'm only investing, I'm only setting back a very small amount of it. But to be honest, might really, people really might not like to hear it. It's more volatile, which could be good. It could be good depending on what percent chance you attribute this going to 0. There's some percent chance in the next year versus what percent chance you attribute to MetaZoo growing, and if and when it does grow, what could the base set do? Like paying in the 60s for this, at least for me, my thoughts, I think is better opportunity cost, better risk adjusted potential for return than buying most Sword and Shield era booster boxes for like 300. That's just my take. Don't get mad at me, because like, I have the opportunity to buy any Sword and Shield booster box I want to, right? If I put out an Instagram story that if I said right now I was buying all Sword and Shield cases for 90%, I would get offered a lot of those cases. I could do that. I'm not doing that. I am actually buying my allocation of this. So I always just tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Aside from Evo Skies, what do you think is the best main set in Sword and Shield? Best main set. So no specialties. let's look at the list. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy for like best, worst. I'm terrible with it. But I mean, don't listen to me, just listen to the market, right? It's got to be Fusion Strike. Look at the price. I'm not going to disagree with the market. You've got your Gengar, you've got your Mews, you've got some good chases in there. I'm just going to take the easy way out. I'm going to go with the easy answer, and I'm just going to listen to the market. I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to run with it. I want to try live stream selling. Do you think building a following first helps, or should you just get a good amount of inventory and keep running streams? It definitely doesn't hurt. So if you have a social media following, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, if you have a following versus no following, it only is going to help. It's going to help, or it's not going to hurt, right? So do you need it though? I don't think you need it at all. I don't think you need it at all, but it would help. Give it a try and see what happens. That's my what I would do. MetaZoo is back. It launched on the same day as Journey Together. It launched on Friday the 28th. So it is indeed back. Lots of new names here. Yep, lots of new names. We are booming. Nice to see you, Allison Silverland. I'll still give the rocket boxes to you at cost, even with tariffs. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I've read a lot of things in Discord. I've read a lot of people speculating as to what's happening. I don't firmly know what's happening. Hopefully, it's not a major blow. I think to some extent, maybe Retro will have to tighten his margins a little bit. Maybe he'll have to pass a little bit along to the streamer that he sells to. Will the end consumer ultimately pay that? I mean, when boxes are 200, it feels like there's room in there somewhere for something to happen. Appreciate you, Saul, for becoming a member. But I feel like there's room for some transactions to occur. If the government's, if Uncle Sam's going to be reaching in there for his part, it's not overly surprising, right? Everyone's got to have their piece of the action. So maybe the president has been keeping an eye on, hey, we got this guy calling himself Giovanni importing going towards $10 million a year of Japanese products. I want a piece of that action. Maybe Retro was the guy that spoiled it for us. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But no, it's crazy. The biggest thing I always try to do. Oh man, appreciate you, Saul, gifting 10 memberships. Appreciate you very much. Didn't have to do that, but always very much appreciated. We love to see the lawnmower driving across the screen. But yeah, I think a lot of times the first thing that happens is people get like very emotional, very like, oh no, it's over. The Pokemon market boom is done. My business is over. Let's wait and see. I don't know how long these things are going to last. We've already had, it's only 3 full months into the year. We're on our 4th month right now. We've already heard tariffs proposed and then backtracked on and then proposed again and then backtracked on again. Is this one even real? Or like, I think it starts Saturday. So that is very soon. But will we push it by Saturday? Will we change it? I have no idea. So just breathe. Calm, cool, collected, logical, rational, all those things. Be reactionary, emotional, all those things any given day. So I'm sure we will persevere as a market. Do you think it's likely a reprint will happen for the zoo? I have no idea. Semantics are very important, right? Again, I just to make it known here, I have a bias. I own a part of MetaZoo, the company that bought the MetaZoo brand that is licensing it to GQL. That said, I have no insight as to what goes on in the operation, production, creation of the TCG. So, I'm not speaking in any official capacity here, but listening to the interview with Charlie Herlocker, who is the president of MetaZoo, who is sorry, Charlie, if you're listening, I forget your title with GQL, but he has knowledge as to what's going on there. I don't have that knowledge. I don't think he would be the guy. I think it would be someone else like Rick Aarons or otherwise who would be the guy to make a call on a reprint. But he he said something along the lines of like printing in the US makes them more able to get things to market quickly. Does that mean they'd ever do a reprint? I have no idea. I think I think they're much better people to manage that though, and I guess that's a better question for if and when we ever get Charlie or someone else with GQL on a live stream in the future. Thoughts on NN and Pokey Plumber no longer doing their lives? Are they not? I'm trying to think. So they do Friday. Last Friday I was in Fort Lauderdale, so I didn't pay attention, but I probably would have saw it in my sub feed. I don't remember listening to one last week. And then are they not live right now? Because normally they'd be live right now. They were doing every Friday in between Nick and I's Poke Flips, and then they were doing Thursday nights before, like the day before Poke Flips. It wouldn't, so it would be tomorrow night. Today's Wednesday right now, so I think it should be tomorrow night if it's on the normal schedule that it's been. But I've not heard. I talk with both of them independently a little bit. I've not been notified by them that it's over. Not that I would be, but I hope it's not over. I've enjoyed that one. Allison Silverland likes tariffs. Maybe she's addicted to uncertainty. Let's see. Unknown is partial to brilliant, but also loves Silver Tempest. I mean, you got Zards, you got Lugias. No issue there. Question for Daniel, which set will age better profit-wise, Prismatic or Destined Rivals? The issue is, are you talking about profit-wise getting it at wholesale? Are you talking about buying $30 ETBs from wholesale? Or are you talking about buying at market price at launch? Because one unknown as of right now, I don't know what Destined Rivals will be at launch. I have been buying Prismatic for my streams. I just bought 2,000 packs of Prismatic the other day for the streams at like $9 a pack. If you're buying Prismatic at $9 a pack versus Destined Rivals at $9 a pack, I don't know. It's so hard because we don't even know the whole Destined Rivals set, right? I'm not speculate with us. You're gonna make me guess. I'm going to guess Prismatic. It's a complete guess. I think Destined will be inflated to a higher percentage above MSRP at launch. So I think that's going to make it a little bit tougher for it to grow higher from there. That's an entire guess. Obviously, we don't even know what the entire set is. What's your take on best investment booster box from SV and why is it Paldea Evolved? You're talking about investing at today's prices. Again, I don't like speculating on things that I'm not doing. I'm not substantially adding to my Scarlet and Violet Paldea Evolved booster case position right now. The only sets I intend to add, at least for the foreseeable future, are sets at launch, sets at my distro price. If somebody hits me with 12 cases of Paldea Evolved at 80%, I'll probably take them. But they probably won't sell to me at 80% because they'll probably sell to someone else at 90%. I'm not paying 90% though. I'm not paying high enough to get those from people. So I just don't like speculating on things that I'm not actively doing. I do have some, that said, I do have some locked away on the investment palettes. And looking at today's prices, I think Surging is going to be one of the worst ones. I think Stellar will be one of the worst ones. I could be entirely wrong, but given how new they are, given they're both over 200, I think they'll get reprinted. They might not. I could be wrong, but I like most. I probably like Paldea or like Paradox Rift the most because they're relative to their age. Their price relative to their age, I just feels better. But that's an entire guess. I don't really spec deep on any individual sets. I kind of just get a little bit of everything at my distro price, and then I let it sit. I let it marinate. How's it going, Pokey Martin? How's it going, Basic? Nice to see you. I'm hoping GQL makes another print run. I do like how Charlie's basing reprints off demand. I mean, as of right now, I think it's really healthy. I think it's really healthy to have base set boxes. I believe they're anywhere between 100 and 120 on eBay. It's not like it's a healthy it's a healthy price where people can make margin. It's a healthy price where people can access it. It's accessible sub MSRP. So I hope it just kind of like, I hope it just kind of like hangs out. I hope it hangs out, and I hope it has good sales volume. I hope it gets opened. I hope it gets collected. I hope it gets played with. We'll see what happens though. Highly speculative for a brand new TCG. Again, thank you, Saul. AMPM, thanking Saul as well. They see you, Namp90. How's it going, Steve's Collectibles? Mike Spandinator. I'm a car salesman for Subaru. Since last week, it has been non-stop business, people buying cars. Do you think people are FOMO spending on Pokemon because of Tariff? I have no idea whatsoever. Yeah, no clue. Some amount of people, probably yes. Some amount of people might be panic selling because of it, so it's probably semi-balanced. Pokey Chef, I was very bummed to not see you in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Really was looking forward to it, but I'm sure I'll see you at some point this year, hopefully a few times. Thoughts on the graded sheets by CGC? I saw them in person. I saw the graded sheets in person. Gemmint Pokemon was sharing them on his story. I'm not a huge... I actually just sold all my sheets. I got kind of wrecked on Heritage with them. Not Japanese sheets, but they're not really for me. They're not really for me. They're a lot more expensive than fits into my budget. So I don't think too deeply on things that are not for me. Predictions for Destined Rivals PC ETB. That's great timing because it's another thing. I have 0. I intend on having 0 ever. It'll probably be a lot more expensive than I'm willing to pay. I'll probably never own one. Maybe I'll buy some to sell into a live stream. Maybe I'll buy some to flip immediately. How many poncho boxes did you pull? So I opened... This was in my 5th case that I opened. I opened 2 or 3 more cases. I've opened 7 to 8 cases out of my 39, out of my 40. Because I got 39 allocated to me, and I bought 1 for full MSRP in person in Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, I only opened I only got 1. I did not open it though. It is still sealed. I think what I'm gonna do is, hopefully when I'm breaking, well, I'm gonna have Skya actually. Skya, that one guy is his username. He does my eBay and my TCG player, kind of like a Skya Evo situation. He's gonna mass rip thousands of packs for me. Thousands of packs, so like dozens of cases. He's gonna mass rip a lot of boxes for me. And I told him to report back on how many poncho boxes we pull. And then I'm gonna play it by year. I kind of want to keep one. I'm gonna keep 1 Kickstarter box. Forever is a hard thing to say, but for a long time. I think I have 3 right now, and I have 1 of these. I hope I end up with 39 cases. Maybe I only get 2 if I'm really unlucky. Maybe I get 8. I've heard of some people opening 5 cases. I got 1 on my 5th case. It might be 1 per 5 cases. I might get 8 of them. If I get 8 of them, some of them will be sold case breaks on stream. They won't be for me, but maybe I get 4 of them. If I get 4 of them, I'll probably keep 1 sealed. I'll probably open 1, and maybe I'll sell. Maybe I'll keep 2 sealed, open 1, and sell 1 sealed, and then kind of go from there and figure it out as I go. But I kind of wanna, because if you start thinking the numbers, so working backwards, for this to be as rare as that, or as common as that, as crazy as that is to say, it would have to be a print run of 150,000 boxes if it was 1 in 5 cases. If you want to think backwards, if it's 1 in 5 cases and there's only a print run of 60,000 boxes, that means there's only 100 of these. Are there only 100 of these? I think there would be more than that. I don't know though. That's crazy, because then that means if that's the case, there would only be 100 of each of those promos, right? You get guaranteed 4 promos inside of it. You get, I believe it's a Bigfoot, a Mothman, a Sun Wukong, and a Piazzabird? Or is there 5 promos? I can't remember. 4 alternate art promos. So Piazzabird, Sun Wukong, Mothman, Bigfoot. I believe those are the 4. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Important. Build your perfect cheeseburger. I can do cheeseburgers a lot of different ways. The perfect, again, I'm terrible at ranking things. Give me bacon, blue cheese, mushrooms. that is an amazing S tier cheeseburger. Obviously cheese patty, bacon, blue cheese, mushrooms, or bacon, Swiss, mushrooms. Places near me, a couple places near me do like a cowboy one. They do like onion straws, a little bit of barbecue sauce. I'm also a big fan of like throw some. They all include bacon. Spoiler, almost all of them. Smash burger, bacon, eggs, maybe a little bit of onion. You can do so many things. A blue cheese and hot sauce burger, like a buffalo burger. Too many delicious ways to eat cheeseburgers. Why are investor bros frowned upon, but for some reason Alpha Investments seemed untouchable and no one talks bad of him? I think a lot of people talk bad of him. So this is one of those things, Pokey Martin, where like we're in deep. Right now, being in my channel, you are deep in like Pokemon business YouTube, Pokemon investing YouTube. If you go to an LGS across the country and talk about Rudy Alpha Investments, he kind of talks about like the game Peace Army. One of two things would happen most of the time. They would be like, who is Rudy? Who is Alpha Investments? I think that would be your most common answer, because like most people just don't get involved that deeply into YouTube. But if they know of him, most of them, I think, I'm speculating here, most of them would be like, oh, he sucks. That guy, he's a monster. He's evil. He's terrible. He's a scalper. He's an evil investor. He like that would be the game Peace Army that he talks about all the time. I think generally speaking, people who are like true collectors, true players, I think they don't think very favorable of him. People in my space, like me, investing by the pallet, he's doing it by the warehouse, by the tractor trailer maybe. A lot of people in our space like look up to him, like they aspire to be his story. They aspire to grow into what he's grown into. So I think that's just a remnant of where you are. It's like going into the Gillette Stadium, I believe it's called, going into the Patriots Stadium and being like, where are all the Jets fans at? There's not many of them out there, to be fair. There's not that many that will show their faces and admit that they are a Jets fan. But yeah, it's like walking into Madison Square Garden. Where are my Bruins fans at? Where they should be, over in Boston. Go Rangers. That's my take on it. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly confident in that take. Glory to Team Rocket. Japanese is already 5 times MSRP. So again, that's Destined Rivals versus. I love the idea of a God Pack. I really do love the idea of a God Pack. Maybe Destined will have its version of a God Pack. We have no idea. It's just so hard to speculate. I'm gonna stick with Prismatic though, just because I went with it, and the God Pack angle is amazing. We'll definitely see each other in Charlotte. Tariffs would only make future booster boxes more expensive compared to today's prices. 2026 MSRP will be higher. Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see if they even happen. There's been times where they've been announced and they have not happened. And then we'll see what they do. I don't know. Has Destined Rivals allocated in the US by suppliers? Destined Rivals will definitely be allocated. I don't know if it's yet allocated. Timmy wants to know what's a poncho box. So when you open a MetaZoo case, you get one of 2 boxes. This box right here is being called a poncho box. It has it's not like a direct signature, I don't think. It's just like a I think it's just a printing of his signature, but it's a holographic box. Ooh, shiny, nice and shiny. And this is the regular box. So when you open cases, normally you get 12 of these, but occasionally 1 in 5 to 1 in 20 cases, you will get one of these. Not only does it include a special artwork drawn by a special artist, on the side it actually says, it says right there, it comes with it includes 4 alternate art MetaZoo promo cards. So you actually get like exclusive cards. I'm not going to open that one right now. It's the only one I have, but I'm going to talk about it more on my MetaZoo Saturday video. If you Jonathan Perry loves talking about food. You're going to get hungry on the clock. Maybe your lunchtime is coming soon if you're working overnight. If you could only pick 1 cut of beef, 1 cut of chicken, and 1 cut of pork for the rest of your life, which cuts are you picking? Oof. I got to go with... That's tough. 1 cut of beef, 1 cut of chicken, 1 cut of pork. The 1 cut of beef I will take is gonna be ribeye, probably. I'm a big ribeye guy. I'm almost wanting to say brisket, but I will get my one barbecue one in there. Nice thing about ribeye, ribeye's pretty fatty. If you wanted to grind up ribeye, you could make a good 80-20 for a burger. So I'm cheating a little bit because I'm getting the ribeye cut, but then I can make burgers if I wanted to. Ribeye burgers sound good. So that's my cut of beef. And then one cut of chicken. I probably got to go with wings. I feel like chicken breasts are more versatile. Thighs, though. Honestly, thighs. I feel like thighs are the most underrated, undervalued of all the cuts. I'm doing a change up late. Sorry, chicken wings. I'm going with thighs. So ribeye, chicken thighs, and then pork belly. Pork belly is gonna be my one barbecue meat. I can do bacon. I can do pork belly burn ends. I'm good to go. Do you think GQL should market the fact that Richard Garfield is involved in the new MetaZoo to drive some traffic to the product? I believe they have. I mean, I believe I don't know if he was in the showcase, but he is on their website. So he's listed on the team's website. He's there. How much should they market him? Should they market him more? I'm not going to question the experts. They are the experts. I am part of the company that has licensed the IP to them, and I fully have faith in them. Yeah. So we'll see what they do. I will yield to their expertise. What is the biggest multiple X gain you've ever seen from something you've bought? So in Pokemon, it's probably, I'm trying to think. Can you count grading it? Are you counting like, do I have to, like, if I buy it raw and then grade it and the price goes up, does that count? Some people say, I understand it. Some people say like, oh, I 500x my money on a card because they bought a $1 card, they Beckett graded it for a black label and then sold it for 500. 500xing is kind of cheating because you spent 20 grading the card. So you 25x the card because you got to count 1 plus 19 grading, you're in for 20 and it goes to 500, that's 25x. But if you're talking gains, no, as is as you bought it. So oof, I'm trying to think. Because I sold $1,000 EVs. I sold $1,000 EVs that were $3, $2, $1 raw EVs that I had. But that doesn't count because I graded them. I don't think I ever really bought those graded already. What would I have bought graded? Probably my trophies are close. I bought those raw and then graded them. Grading them at the time, if I bought the trophies I bought raw, graded them and instantly auctioned them, I would have probably lost money. At the time, like I paid market price for the cards and they graded PSA 9. They didn't grade PSA 10. Those cards I sold for like 15x's. And I'm not talking 15x of like $100. I'm talking 15x of like thousands of dollars. So those ones are like not the biggest multiple, but the biggest like delta, the biggest actual dollar delta in absolute terms. The biggest percentage, it'd have to be, it'd be some random WotC card. It would be actually, where'd it go? It's right around here somewhere. It isn't this card. It isn't this specific card, but like this card I bought years ago. Let me see if I can find it. I might be able to pull it up in my email actually. This copy is not the one that I bought. So it's not this one right now. But let me look in my email. I'm going to search PSA 9 mint first shining Gyarados. I would have bought this back in this isn't it. This was me buying a Neo Genesis booster box in 2015. It doesn't say the price though in this eBay email. Sadly. But it would be some random PSA 9 Gold Star that I bought in 2016, 2015, and then sold in the boom in 2020, 2021. Probably like a 30x, 40x. There's probably some WotC cards that I bought for like $25 and then sold for $1,000. I don't remember off the top of my head though. More meat, less veg equals better. Absolutely. I started my own LGS. It's nothing big, more like a hole in the wall, only a few $100 in rent, and my in-laws stay there 3 days and I cover 3 days. It's working well so far. That's actually awesome. Radar's currently 1 for 1 and has 10 cases on the way. I was there, I was present for it. He was standing by my side at the MetaZoo booth when he bought that. Radar batting 1,000. Are you gonna rip more? Are you gonna rip more, Radar, or are you gonna just stay 100%? Thighs save lives. Oh man. Yeah, good luck, Steve's collectibles. Hopefully you get your poncho box. Bitcoin would be up there too. So I have some of the original Bitcoin that I bought. I first bought Bitcoin when it was 200 per Bitcoin. I put $50 in and I gambled most of it away on Nitrogen Sports. Shout out to Nitrogen Sports. It's probably not a thing anymore. I gambled Bitcoin on an EU website back when Bitcoin was, it looks like it is, nitrobetting.eu, cryptocurrency, sports betting, and casino. Not financial advice. Do not go out there and gamble all your Bitcoin away on Nitrogen Sports. But I did. I did a long time ago. But not all of it. I think I bought some at 50 and lost most of it. Sorry, some at 200. So I bought 0.25 Bitcoin for $50 and I gambled most of it away. And then I bought another 0.25 Bitcoin for $50. And that was like, most of that was kept. Most of that was kept. That was like the original starter Bitcoin I had. So that Bitcoin, it went from 200 to 100,000. So 100, that's a 500x, right? Yeah, a clean 500x is the highest that I've seen in anything ever, if you want to go outside of Pokemon. What's a good price for 151 booster bundle? Just got allocated 300 from your supplier. Is a reprint happening right now? That's wild. I feel like I saw a couple YouTube thumbnails and titles that talked about reprints, but I haven't heard from my own. That's a lot. 300 from your supplier. Let me see. Radar's buying from the secondary market. Greeny wants to know who. Radar says Toy Wiz for most. I think Toy Wiz was selling them for like 100 or 110, right? I've seen people talking about Toy Wiz. Let's look up MetaZoo on Toy Wiz. I've had a lot of people reach out to me about buying. I'm not selling any sealed cases or sealed boxes currently. I'm ripping them for singles and I'm ripping them for live streams. I think that's primarily what I did with old MetaZoo. I think that's what's best. I think it's better to keep all the evil investors out of it that I can, right? Castle Strong says, "Are we still booming?" I believe we are still booming. I'm getting pretty close to caught up. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them. I'm probably going to end by like 11:30, so about another 25 minutes if people have the questions, or maybe I'll end earlier. But how's it going, Pull Father? Nice to see you. It was nice to see you for a little bit there in Fort Lauderdale. I'm a little bit stuffy. I don't know if it's allergies or what. I think it's mostly allergies. The weather has been all over the place, though. The weather's been, we've had 60-degree days. I think tomorrow's going to be 60, and overnight it's supposed to rain like 1.5 inches here. It snowed a little bit this afternoon. It's wild. Brandon G says, "I'm thinking about liquidating my PSA 10 Pokemon collection, but I just seen you don't use eBay anymore. Is Fanatics a good place to sell like eBay?" So I will shout out my Fanatics consignment service. If you are interested, I will sell your cards for you on Fanatics. Everything above 120, I pay out more than they pay directly. They've done a little promotional thing where they pay out like 114% hammer price. Do the math. It's frustrating as hell to me that they advertise in that way. 93.33 over 100. So 0.9333 times 120. So, sorry, 110% of hammer they pay out. 110% of hammer they pay out on certain cards. If you sell a card that's over 480, I'm paying out 112% of hammer. So this is 112% of hammer. This is 114% of hammer. I hate that Hammer exists. I hate that Buyer's Premium exists. But what I always tell consigners, disclaimer Dan, transparency Dan, uh, Fanatics is a very good platform. I think most prices generally are right in line with eBay. There are certain cards I think do better. There are certain cards I think do worse. But overall, I think it's right in line. Go check out alt.xyz. Type in your card's cert number. Like say you have this card. Say you have this card and you're thinking about consigning it. Thinking about selling it on Fanatics versus selling it on eBay. Look it up on Fanatics. Sorry, look it up on Alt. It'll show you recent Fanatics sales. It'll show you recent eBay sales. And auctions are volatile. Auctions are quite variable. You'll be able to see though. You'll be able to see the last 10 data points. You'll be able to see sometimes it might be higher on eBay. Sometimes it might be higher on Fanatics. My fees are generally a little bit lower. Usually at a lower dollar amount, I pay a higher percentage than most other consignment services I've bought. I've seen. So I'm here. I'm an option. I'm not going to give you like the turbo salesman shill mode. Oh yeah, consign everything with me. I'm guaranteed to get you the best prices on everything. I'm never going to do that. I'm always going to say, look at and weigh all your options. And if you want to choose me, I think I'm quite a good option. I'm quite a good option, but there's also other good options out there. So if you are interested in consigning with me, I can tell you more about the process. Send a DM, send an email, contact me on my website, and I will get you going. But I have a couple benefits that not every other consignment service has too. Fully insured on the inbound, fully insured process the entire way. And I pay out every Wednesday. I pay out friends and family, ACH, Zelle, Wire, crypto sparingly. Some people like to get paid out in crypto, but yeah, there's a lot of different services out there. I'm just one of them. Feel free to reach out if you're interested. I will never give like a super sleazy sales pitch. Oh yeah, my 0.25 Bitcoin is like 25K or so. I haven't looked at what is crypto right now with all this uncertainty. Crypto's back down to 83. I know Bitcoin went down to 80 and then it went back up to 90 almost, and now it's back down to 80 almost. It's volatility, man. It's wild out here. I wasn't even making a Bitcoin play. Literally, degeneracy is what put me into Bitcoin initially. I was like, I want to bet on sports. And FanDuel, Fanatics Sportsbook, DraftKings, they're not taking my money yet. They're not even a thing yet, some of them. So I was a degen. I was looking around like, I want to bet on the Rangers to win the cup. And they have not won it since I wanted to bet on winning it. I found in the deep dark corners of the interwebs, I found this thing called Bitcoin. I remember hearing about Bitcoin back in late college, I want to say, which is painful to think about. I remember when Bitcoin was $8 a piece, and I watched it fall to $2 a piece. Had I bought it then, that would have been wild. When was Bitcoin $8? I can't. It would have been late in college. Let's see. So this says 2011. Bitcoin's price never broke above 40 cents per Bitcoin in 2010, but it did manage to hit that level in early 2011. Then in February, it crossed $1. A few months later in May, it exceeded 8. And then I want to say at one point, yeah, the remainder of 2011. So not only was it 8 and it went to 2, before it went from 8 to 2, it went to 30. So it tripled up from 8, and then it tanked down over 90% to $2. I was there vaguely looking at it. I had a couple, like, not a roommate, but I had a couple of friends who claimed they were mining it on their like computer laptops at the time. And these days you need to have crazy miners to get any amount you need to mine into a pool. Back then, you could probably mine with your CPU and like you get some tangible amount of Bitcoin, which is insane. Insane to think about it. But yeah, wild ride. I didn't buy into it as an investment. It turned into one of the best investments I've ever made. So Fibonacci says here in Latin America, I think reprints hit first here. English reprints, Brazil. Interesting. Bitcoin's not a play and you didn't miss it, says Retro. He's bullish. all my rants about banks, I'm not like a crypto bro. I'm not trying to pump it by any means. I like transacting in crypto way more than I like sending a wire or an ACH or a Zelle. Banks make it miserable. Banks make banks make me like crypto a lot more. So, not financial advice, but I have a little bit of Bitcoin that I'm not selling anytime soon. Let's see. Castle Strong says my Walmart had a big restock of the Fusion Strike plus Chilling Rain blisters for 12. Interesting. If you had all the resources, time, and land available to build whatever you want, a house, a park, a monument, what would you build? When I started, appreciate you, Castle Strong, dropping 10 gifted. Appreciate it very much. We get to see the 10 the silent lawnmower run 10 more times. If I had all the resources, time, and land available to build whatever you want, this is a good question. A house, a park, a monument, what would you build? I would build a compound. I would build the catch-em-all compound. I'm not talking like a streamer compound, a streamer house. My boss, when I started my first job, when I started my first job that wasn't pure nepotism, me working for my dad growing up. When I started the first job that I earned, my boss used to talk about a square mile. He talked about his retirement plan someday was getting, if you work it out, a square mile is 640 acres. He talked about having a square mile somewhere deep in the woods, central, northwestern, I don't know where exactly in the United States. And it sounded so good. Having a nice stream going through the back quarter of it, having a pond on it somewhere, do some fishing, do some hunting, do some mudding on the four-wheeler, go-kart, dirt bike, snowmobiles, all kinds of stuff. That sounds amazing. That sounds awesome. I don't think my retirement, I don't think that will ever happen. I think 640 acres is probably more than I will ever be able to muster. But something like that. Something like that, as much land as possible. Just solitude. Solitude, bring the people to me that I want to be with. Me, my wife, my family, kids visit, cousins visit, friends visit, people visit, and that would be cool. That would be really cool. But yeah, that was my first boss used to talk about that periodically, and I'm borrowing his dream, his ultimate dream. Is this boom confirmed to bridge over to the 30th anniversary? I don't hold this dearly, but if I had to bet either way, coin flip, and I think it is a coin flip. Talking with Ponga, talking with Nick, I somehow after several IPAs in Chicago, I started saying zero by fall, sell it all. I don't actually think Pokemon's going to zero. I don't think it's actually going to like pop entirely. The market's going to go to zero. But I think things will soften by fall. I think certain things will soften. $230 Journey Together, $250, $80 Surging Sparks. I think things will calm by summer before the 30th. And then maybe they'll ramp up again. I could be entirely wrong. Do not base what you're doing off that. I'm not drastically selling things. The pallets are not being touched. I'm selling 7 figures worth of stuff this year. I'm also buying 7 figures worth of stuff this year. That said, like, aside from the pallets, aside from the pack inventory for the live streams, I'm trying to pare down generally like the excess. So between now and 6 months from now, I intend to have less inventory than I do as of today. But that's talking like moving from very, very big number to very, very big number that's maybe 20% less than I have today. I'm just trying to optimize more for what the buyers are buying on the live streams. I'm trying to not give PK and Ponga 5,000 packs of a set that's only being sold 100 packs a week, right? So I'm trying to like lean out. I'm trying to optimize. I'm trying to overall lower it, but not drastically. Is buying wholesale from Rudy to TCG Wiskaya a play? Rudy sells pretty expensive. Maybe some of the Magic, there might be a play there. I think his Pokemon is not very often a deal. I think his Magic is more frequently a deal, but I'm not sure. I don't know who Papa Meat is, but that feels like a risky Google. YouTube Papa Meat. 2.8 million followers. Pokemon scalpers are the worst. 10 hours ago. I'm gonna give it a watch. 25-minute video. I've never heard of this guy. 2.83 million subscribers. He makes cartoons on his main account. This is the secondary account for this guy. So this is like a proper YouTuber ranking every fast food burger, the worst assassination attempts, the danger of rideshare apps. So this guy's just like a standard YouTuber, and Pokemon came up. So I'll watch that tomorrow. Appreciate you, Trust. Thank you for being here. Cardboard Cabin says, I want to say thank you again for the tax video. I realized today I need a new account and would have settled without your rant. Yeah, I've had multiple people say, like, thank you, Dan. I talked to my accountant. I realized they had no idea what they were doing in the reseller space. And I found a new accountant geared primarily towards resellers. And we got everything rolling. Now I'm an S corporation. Now I'm cash basis. Now I'm XYZ. And I love hearing anecdotes of things going well. So yeah, I appreciate you following up with me on that. This show didn't offer me Journey Together. Guess since I'm a new account and now they sell it for $2.20 a box on their site. Yeah, that's the market we're in right now. I have an old collection of Pokemon that went up in price and starting selling on eBay this year. Was the most efficient way to list the cost of goods? I don't remember what I originally paid. Ideally, you estimate as best you can what you originally paid. I'm like, this is a foreign concept to me. Like, do people delete emails? Why delete emails? I'm not going to pull it up on stream, but I'm going to pull up my Gmail account and my old AOL account. And I'm going to tell you how many emails I have in each of those inboxes. My Gmail account has, and they're all red, 40,000 emails in my Gmail account. And I have 116 unread, but I have, where does it show? Last I looked, it was over 100,000, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why it doesn't show. 139,379 messages. Like, if I wanted to, I could go back and I could find every single eBay item I ever purchased in my email. Let alone, I've saved CSVs over the years and I could find them that way. But like, why are people out here deleting emails? Maybe you bought them at the LGS. Maybe you bought them on Facebook, to be fair. Maybe there's no email trace there. But just a little rant I had to have because some people delete emails. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's all free. Oh, no. I left that wide open, didn't I? We have a political comment that I will not put on screen. But yeah, I left myself wide open for that, didn't I? Sign me up for Coinbase Bank, baby. I'm moving 100% of my money over day one. Yeah, I mean, USDC. Stay away from Tether for whatever reason. Not advice, but Tether's illegal in New York because they would not open themselves up to a full audit, making sure they have $1 for every one USDT. USDC, though, USD coin is legal in New York, and as far as I understand, has passed all audits, making sure they're backed up 1-to-1. So I prefer USDC over USDT. I would not put all my money into Ethereum or Cardano or XR, like all these different things, but I would put all of it in USDC if it actually was verified. I would look deeper into verified whether or not it was 1-to-1 backed up by dollars. But Castle Strong's dream was just 1 acre. So I grew up on 1 acre. Growing up, we lived on 1 acre amongst thousands of acres of farmland. And my dad is like a agricultural mechanic, welder, fabricator. Now he does like HVAC type stuff. He does a little electrical, a little bit of plumbing. He does a little bit of everything. But back when I was younger, he was doing more like ag mechanic type stuff, agricultural, that kind of stuff. And he did work for like all the farmers around us. So we only had 1 acre, but I had access to like hundreds or thousands of acres in every direction to ride. I used to be able to ride my my 4-wheeler to my buddy's house through some cross lots, cornfields, and all that. And we used to go just run around in the woods all day long, way before Fortnite, way before get off my lawn, yelling at the clouds. That's how old I am. But my first house had like over 10 acres. My first house had over 10 acres. It was mostly wetland, but it was still space. It was room. It was like breathing room from me to any neighbors. And I like the idea. I don't think I'll ever have 640, but when I was growing up at one point, we had over 20, and that was really nice. We hunted on that land. We went mud and we rode wheelers. My dad like bulldozed a little flat dirt track in the yard, in like the back field of the yard, which is crazy. He had like a lot truck. He had an old F-150 that we just like, not many laps before the wheel fell off that thing and we couldn't drive it anymore, but that was fun. um Nintendo and Pokemon pull off the gas after you buy a Switch 2 in the new Pokemon game. I did see that apparently, like, wasn't it like hundreds of thousands of people or 1 million people were watching that Nintendo Direct earlier? That's insane. I have 2 Switches. I don't see myself buying Switch 2 anytime soon. I'm not someone who's ever really stayed latest and greatest. I think I got a PS1 when the PS2 came out. I had an NES growing up when like the N64 was the latest thing. I think I've always been 1 to 2 generations behind the console game. And my last and final console ever, as far as like not handheld, was probably the PS3. And yeah, I'm not gonna buy the Switch 2. Maybe I'll buy that when the Switch 3 or 4 comes out. Nintendo is so creative with their names, right? But I heard a little bit of an uproar going on in Discord, a couple of the various Discords I'm in. Apparently new games are going to be $80. $80 a piece on the Switch 2. It's where we're headed. All digital. You're going to be paying to just basically rent it. You don't own it, you just rent it basically, and you're paying $80 for the opportunity to click download. And these companies print money. Buy or buy, BUY or BYE. Are you talking about one of the Discords, or sorry, one of the Patreons, like Alpha Investments or like Pokemart or something? I think kind of a mess in those situations because there's so many people wanting it, so few to go around. Do you think payment services could be expedited much faster and allow more traffic flow on websites by only accepting crypto? I'm not an expert. I've heard some of the people who are very bullish on crypto saying like Bitcoin's not the answer because MasterCard, because Visa process so many hundreds of thousands of transactions like a second or whatever, and Bitcoin can't do that. And that's where you got like the Lightning Network, and that's where you had the fork. You have some people forking Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. I vaguely follow what's going on in crypto, but I'm not an expert. I think some of these other cryptos, like USDC, has much more volume transaction ability than a Bitcoin. I think Ethereum has a lot more. There are some other ones though. There are other ones that have way more ability to do transactions. But which one's which, I'm not an expert on. My guy, my accountant said, explain Nexus to me quick. Yeah, that's scary. Like if you, somebody actually asked me recently, and I apologize because I forget who it was, but somebody asked me, Dan, maybe I'll take note on this really quickly. What are 3 good questions? Because I made a video before on don't just consult professionals, consult competent professionals. What are 3 good questions to ask your CPA to figure out if they're a good CPA, to figure out if they're a good accountant for you? One of them would be, hey, I'm flying across the country. I'm going to be vending in another state. What are my risks? What are my, or that combined with, so ask about Nexus. 2 things. Say, I'm selling at a high level right now. I'm selling 6-7 figures, and maybe you're not, but like, say theoretically I was going to sell 6 or 7 figures a year. Say I sold, I live in New York. Say I sold $300,000 to Texas. What does that mean for me as a business? What does that mean if they, like, who cares? It doesn't matter. You could sell $10 million a year to any state you want, and it doesn't make a difference. If they don't know what economic nexus is, that's concerning. That's concerning to you as an online business. Unless you're using eBay, unless you're using a platform that takes care of that for you, then it's not as relevant. But if you're using Shopify, if you're using Wix, something like that, shout out Brian Pokiani. He has some great videos in his backlog on economic nexus. Another thing is, like, if you're going to conventions, at what point do I end up generating physical nexus? Because that's a thing as well. So that's a good question. Cash versus accrual. There's a lot of people in this space who their accountants tell them that they cannot be accrual based. They say that they cannot be cash based. They have to be accrual based. That's not true. That's not correct. Get another accountant because your accountant's not great at this whole resale type thing. Another one. Very dependent on what you're doing, at what level you're doing it. But I feel like I had another one that I suggested and I can't think of it right now. I'll come back to it if I think of it. But thanks to Dan and learning about ordinary and necessary, I pay no taxes now. Yikes. Oh, 1.1 million concurrent watching the Nintendo Live when I glanced at it. That's wild. Appreciate you, Pokemon Classics. Pokemon Classics never goes out of style. Thanks for hopping in and saying hi. Have a good night. Speaking of tax stuff, is your guy local to you and how did you find them? Yes. So my people are local to me. My people are like a firm. It's not just one guy. I used to have one guy who I got because my dad used that guy. I don't think he was amazing. He did not have me set up as an S corporation at a point where I probably should have been. And he ended up retiring. So we both moved on to who he recommended we go to. I think these new people are good at accounting. I don't think they're amazing at running a business in some ways. I think they took on a lot more than they could handle. They've had to, when I had everything to them on time, they extended me. They filed an extension and they filed the stuff later on. It's like, hey guys, I want to file my stuff on time. I'm going to owe money. I don't want to owe interest. I don't want to owe penalties. But I think they're good at what they do. I've had long conversations with them with respect to buying the company and how that should be set up and how that should be structured, how my business should be structured, 1099 versus W-2, cash versus accrual. I've had talks with them about different things in and outside of Pokemon, setting up IRAs for kids and stuff like that. Maybe that was the other thing I suggested. Having children on the payroll in this business, if you have children, it's Pokemon cards. It's very reasonable that your kids could materially participate in the business depending on their age. So if you ask your accountant, hey, my 8-year-old helps me sort cards, they help me open packs, they help me sort bulk, they help me put slabs inside of bubble mailers to ship them. If you have a kid who is materially participating in the business and you tell your accountant that and they say, no, you're crazy, you can't put an 8-year-old on the payroll, what are you talking about? They're a bad accountant. They're harming you financially because they don't know what they're doing with respect to what you're doing. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're good for other people, other businesses. Maybe they're not. Maybe they just suck at their job. All the hundreds of thousands of CPAs in the country, some of them are really bad. Hopefully you don't have those people. But if they tell you that your child that materially participates in your Pokemon business cannot be on payroll, cannot be saving into a supercharged savings account that you call a Roth IRA, they're flat wrong and you need to consult with somebody else. It's unfortunate that you need to like check and verify your professionals, but you really do. You need to trust them to some extent. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. So I always shout out whenever we get deep into the tax talk, and I'm going to end right here shortly because I am fully caught up in chat. Shout out not your dad's CPA. I've never spoken with him. No, maybe a couple DMs actually. A couple DMs on Instagram, but I don't know him. He would have no idea who Catch 'em All Collectibles is if you mention my name. But I always shout him out. I think he makes great videos. I think it's one of the biggest oversights in the space. I just linked his channel. If people spent 2 hours a month for 2 hours a year, even if people spent 2 hours a year, they'd probably be in the top 10 percentile for like people thinking about their taxes in this space. And if the right thing hits and the right thing clicks, you can instantly save yourself thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, depending on what you're doing. So yeah, binging his backlog might be some of the best videos you ever watched if you're unfamiliar with how a lot of this stuff works. But yeah, with that, quick 90-minute live stream tonight. It's been a busy week. I'm gonna have a video on Saturday, MetaZoo Saturday video. It's gonna be recapping Fort Lauderdale Collecticon, which primarily revolved around this for me personally. I'm very excited to make that video. I did pick up the cool magazine they have. A lot of cool stuff to talk about. If MetaZoo is not for you, I'm back every Monday. I'm back every Monday doing my video. I think it might be another tax topic because the 15th is coming up quick. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. I appreciate everyone watching tonight. Pokemon Classics had a video meeting with him when he first got established. That's awesome. And yeah, not your dad CPA is amazing. But yeah, I appreciate everyone watching. Have a good night. I will catch you all.